Hey friends, welcome to Deep Dark Yoga. I'm April Fox. We're going to play some doom metal, do some gentle yoga stuff. I want to work on externally rotating the hips today. Should feel really delicious, especially if you have like some lower back tightness or you're feeling kind of stuck. Very opening kind of energy. I don't have any props planned, but if you like to use blocks or straps or whatever, like go ahead and grab that. Please be good to your body. Hit subscribe, please. Check this out. Have more info about joining us live below. We do this class on Zoom every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time in the US, so check that out for where you are in the world, and hit me up in the info below and join us sometime. Okay, so my partner and I went out on Saturday, and we had this really interesting experiment in acceptance and presence. We were leaving brunch. So there's this part of Portland that there's this whole section, and because of rivers and trains, if there's a train, you're totally stuck in this section. And there's certain streets that if you get caught in this one little block, you can't even turn around because they're one-way streets. There's nowhere to go. You're just stuck. You're just there. And I used to live in an area that was kind of blocked off by these trains. And so I won't go anywhere near these streets ever. I just don't do it. Yeah. Hi. Hey, Sarah. Welcome. So I won't go anywhere near these streets that will get blocked up by trains because you'll just get completely stuck. You can't do anything about it. But we were having breakfast together, and then we're like, oh, we're going to go run some errands. So we start driving down this street, and I realized that he's going down where the train is, and then there was a train. And I don't know if you've ever been near like a train that's like so slow that you're confused. And what trains will do in this area, they'll go forward and then they'll stop, and then they'll go backwards. And this one was doing that. It was like super slow, and then it would speed up, it would go slow, and then it would stop, and it would go backwards, and it would go forwards and backwards. And it was just stopped at this point where we could have driven through, but the barricade is there. And it's just like, all of a sudden it starts going really slow. He's like, I think it's moving. I'm like, are you sure that's not just the turning of the earth? Like, what is going on? What is up with this train? We're like, is it lost? Like, part of me is like, they didn't even have anything to do today. They just decided, hey, I'm going to go mess with some people in the city, drive the train back and forth across. We were stuck there for like an hour. And I'm so grateful to be with a partner who also shares in this sense of like just being willing to accept and be present with our circumstances rather than getting like heated or anxious or angry about them. We just kind of sat there and laughed about it. And it was actually a really enjoyable hour. And we listened to a podcast and joked about what the train was doing. And that kind of different perspective on the situation was so nice. Like that whole day ended up being like one of the best days that we've ever had in like this lazy kind of Saturday. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you, Sarah, just for thank you. Just the easiest kind of day, and a lot of it was set from that tone of like, I'm just not gonna be upset about this. There's the Dalai Lama, he says, if I can be mad about it, why would I be upset about it? And if I can change it, why would I be upset about it? I just change it. And if I can't change it, what good does being mad about it do? And just to be able to have that kind of response to our circumstances, I think is really nice. I really enjoyed it. I don't want to get caught by a train again, but that time was fine. So let's move in to our practice. Take your index finger and your thumb together. Take the squishy spot at the bottom of your thumb and bring that to the center of your forehead. Go ahead and brush outwards a few times towards your temples. And we'll brush from the sides of the nose out to the temples along your cheekbones. And from your temples down to your chin on your jawline. The sides of your nose down along your laugh lines, stretching down towards your chin. And then massaging underneath and behind your ears, lifting up from that point. Resting your hands down somewhere that's comfortable to you as you take some long, deep breaths. Settling into this moment. Finding a sense of presence, of acceptance and being here. And taking a deep breath in through your nose. Let the exhale out through your mouth. And again, like that. For 3 ohms. And then we're gonna start practice today down on our back. So go ahead and come down, knees in the chest, just settling yourself down. Take a few breaths as you relax into the floor. And then keep holding onto your right leg. Extend the left leg out. Just let it relax. It's fine if it's bent. Just thinking of softness, inviting softness into the fold at your hip. And then we'll start to flex your feet, so inviting a little more energy, a little bit more stimulation into the legs. You're going to keep the feet flexed, keep holding the right knee with your right hand, take your left arm out to the side, and open your right knee out to the right side. And this is going to be a lot more intense than what we were just doing, so try to greet this stimulating space with deep breaths. Inviting a sense of softness to your breath. One more exhale. And grab your right knee with the left hand. You can relax your feet. Now take the right knee over to the left side. And now stretch your right arm to the right as we twist. One more exhale. And coming back to your back, release the right leg, take your left one in. And this first variation being as soft as you can manage, continuously inviting your limbs, your tissues to relax. And flexing your feet, a little more active in the legs. Take your left hand and your left knee to the left. Take your right arm out to the right. And keep peeling yourself open and wide as you press into the soles of your feet. One more inhale. One more exhale. Then you can relax the feet as you take the left knee and you draw it over the body, crossing into a twist to the right. Take your left arm out to the left. One more exhale. And then coming back to the center, bring your knees to your chest, bring yourself up, and then come onto your hands and knees. When you get to your table pose, take some circles around in your spine, moving your head and your hips around a few times. And then switching those circles, the rotation of them. And then relaxing into a more neutral spine. Take your hands at least a handprint further forward and let your hips come forward just a little bit. Doing a little shift. And then we're going to make some big circles in the hips. So keep your hands and your knees where they are, but you want to move your hips as far back and to the side and forward as you can. You should have some lift and some work in your midsection, in your belly. You should feel the core working a bit as you make these big circles in the hips. And then switch the direction of the circles. And make one more rotation. And then settle back to hands and knees. Maybe you pull your hands in a little bit. We're going to take the right foot and bring it forward. Turn the right knee and toe out to the side, so you're rotating that leg out. The left hand goes forward. The hips go forward. And then take your right hand up to your right thigh. It's going to be a little more supportive. If you like, though, you can stretch the right arm back and open the heart a little bit more. Let those hips drop down and forward. Take 2 more deep breaths. And you're going to take that right hand down on the inside. Turn your right knee and toe forward. Push down on the foot. And walk your hands a little bit forward. See if you can drop your head and your heart down on the inside of that leg. One more breath out. And then sneak your hands back in as you take the right leg back, and now the left foot comes forward outside of the left hand, so hands on the inside. And then the left knee and toe move to the left, the hips go forward, the right hand goes forward, and maybe your left hand comes to your left thigh. Maybe you decide to reach to open the heart more, but keep letting your hips move forward towards your foot, towards your hand, or towards the right hand, the left foot. One more exhale. And then take the left hand forward, turn the left knee and toe forward, and keep pushing down into the left foot. Just crawl your fingertips as far forward as it feels okay for your body to do. And take 2 more exhales. Then crawl your hands back in, pull your left leg back, and come down onto your belly. And make a pillow for your head with your hands. Rest there for a moment. And then slide your hands back by your lower ribs. We'll take a few cobras. Inhaling to lift up, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, soften down. Take 3 more. Just moving with your breath. And take your hands back behind you, make a bind, interlace your fingers, and we're going to lift up to a locust pose, lifting the feet and the heart off the floor, reaching the arms back towards your toes. Take another big breath in. And then lower down, rest your hands underneath your head, maybe wiggle your hips a little side to side. Then bring your hands back in underneath your shoulders. Push yourself back up to your hands and knees. And take your right foot forward. I'm going to take the right arm up into the air. So it's okay to put something underneath your left hand if you like. Watch the tendency that we have to shift the hips back. Instead, you want to try to move the hips forward. One more exhale. And then you're going to lift yourself up. So we're going to bring the heart up above the hips. And just let the arms open as you twist the heart over towards the right. Then bring your right hand to your right hip and stretch your left arm up in the air. Don't let yourself drop back. You want to think of eating long and tall. It's longer and more lifted. One more breath. And take both hands down. Pull your right leg back and bring the left foot forward to where the left hand is. And now you bring the left arm up in the air and we stay here for a couple of breaths. Soften your belly. Let your right ribs twist closer to your left leg. Push down in the left leg to stay a little steadier. One more exhale. And pushing down into your left foot, lift your heart up above your hips. Take a twist over towards the left side. My arms are not at 6 o'clock. Probably yours aren't either. That is totally fine. Try not to let your hips go back. Move them forward a bit. Take your left hand to your left hip. Reach the right arm up. Feel yourself getting taller and longer through that right side. 2 more breaths. And then take both hands down. I'm going to pull your legs back. Come to take a seat. If it's not comfortable for you to sit on your heels, just sit to the side or swing your legs out in front. So it doesn't matter how your lower body is. We're just going to take the hands and make fists and roll the fists in circles a few times. And then switch the direction of the circles. We're going to do a little down dog. And then flick water off of your fingers a few times. And shake your hands out a few times. And take your hands and push them out in front of you where you can feel how strong your upper back gets when you're pushing out into your hands. And then you're going to swing the legs back and we'll come into a downward facing dog. So putting the hands beneath your shoulders, curl the toes under, press up and back, down dog. I want to keep the feet about hip width apart. So not like super wide, not really close together, a couple of inches apart, just a couple of inches. Notice how the backs of your legs feel. Gently lower your knees down. Walk your hands back and your hips go back towards your heels and just take a big breath in and a big breath out. Then you're going to walk your hands forward a bit. Lift your knees, press back, downward dog. And we'll stay here, take a big breath in. Turn the tailbone up to the sky. Let the exhale out. And gently lower your knees down to the floor. Walk your hands back and push your hips back by your heels. And stay here, take a big breath in. Big breath out. And step your hands forward and lift your hips up. Push strong into those arms. Relax your heels down. Lift your tailbone. Take another big breath in. Let it out. Then gently lower your knees down. Walk the hands back one more time. If you want to lift up into a broken toe pose, you go, oh wow, that's probably the best a broken toe has felt to me in a long time. One more exhale. And then walk it forward. Really spread those fingers out back to a downward facing dog. And notice how the energy in the legs shifts. Allow you to feel this opening in your tailbone, in your tail feathers. And then walk your hands back to the back of your mat. Find a forward fold.
And wiggle your feet wider. Now they go much wider than your hips, and you bend your knees and let yourself hang down. You can grab opposite elbows or bring your elbows to your thighs if that seems much more comfortable, to your back, to your breathing. One more exhale. And start to lift yourself up. Whew. Adjust the wardrobe. And then you're going to bring your feet in. Go ahead and cross your left leg behind your right. Take your arms up. A nice big breath in. We're going to fold forward, slowly swan diving. And then come down. You can bring your hands to your shins or to the floor. And then we'll keep the legs crossed as you stand all the way back up. Reach up and hold on to your left wrist. The left hip is going to tend to sneak back. We want to push it forward on this. As you pull gently on the left wrist and find a really big side bend. Move both hips forward just a little bit more. One more exhale. And then release the arms and switch the cross of your legs. So now you've got the right leg behind the left. Open your arms and swan dive forward. Just watching the response you get. How are those hammies feeling today? And then come on down, forward fold to whatever degree feels like you can breathe in it. Let out an exhale, and then we'll take that cross-legged standing move, which might feel kind of awkward, and then reach up and hold onto your right wrist. You're going to move both hips forward, especially that right one, and we'll lengthen out through that right side. Try pushing into the back foot a little bit more if you can manage that. Let out an exhale. And then come up, release your arms, and unwind your legs. So as you look down at your feet, you should take your hands and feel your hip bones and sense where those are. And then as they're right there at your hip bones, you should sense and look that your fingertips face right down at about your big toe, which might mean that you have the feet kind of open a little bit, but you should feel like, this is fairly steady, right? No pressure here. So feet underneath your fingers, and then if you step back to a warrior one, you still want to have that wide space. Instead of the back heel maybe, instead of the toes, but you were a little bit wider. So as you come down into that, you're like, okay, yeah, definitely wide enough. I'm going to take arms up. I'm going to take a twist over to the right, and as you do, don't let the knee fall in. You want to keep pushing down into that front foot. In fact, if you like, you can right away take your right hand to your right hip. That'll be just a little softer on the shoulders, a little less effort. But still twisting my heart over to the right. And then I'm going to take the left arm and I'm going to lift it up. And keep pushing down into that right foot, keeping real strong in that right thigh, building some heat. One more big breath in. And then turn forward, take both hands and bring them to your heart. Come up onto the back toes. And you're going to step the left foot up by the right foot in a chair pose. And maybe you're a lot lower, maybe you're not. We're going to stay on the right leg, tap the foot back, and then and back, and back, and then a few more times. Try to keep that right leg really steady. Let's go 2 more. And then sit in both feet, both hips, and straighten your legs. And we'll move to the other side. So my feet about hip width. As I step the right foot back, I don't cross it over, lift the arms. Warrior one, strong left leg. And then twisting to the left, I lean forward a little bit through that. You can take the left hand back to your hip if that seems just a little more comfortable for you. Keep letting this twist open in the left. Keep pushing down firmly in the left foot. And then take the right arm up. Lengthening through the right side. Push down strongly in both feet. Big inhale. Big exhale. And then turn to the front. Bring both hands to your heart. Come up to the back toes. You're going to bend into your front knee. And step forward and meet it with the right leg. And keep the weight in your left foot. We're going to tap back and forth just a few times. Building some heat. Keeping strength in that left leg, left hip. One more. Both feet are down, feet are even, hips press back. And then stand up and open your legs. Turn your knees and your toes out, and we'll sit the hips down into an old soft log. I first do. Open it up. So pressing those thighs open, dropping the hips. One more exhale. And then coming up and turning your feet over to the right side. We'll open into a warrior two. I'm going to try to turn your knee a little bit more over towards the second or third toe rather than the big toe. So you should feel a little bit more rotation in the hips. And then we'll lift up peaceful warrior. Keep those hips underneath you. And then take your right elbow down. Try to bring it to the inside of your thigh and press it open a little bit. And then reach the left arm up and over. Big breath in. Big breath out. Then we'll stand up and switch to the other side. So we know that the tendency is that the knee is going to start to fall in as we're feeling tired, right? So we want to move it a little bit more than it wants to keep it really open. We'll open into warrior two. Strong in those legs. Feel that the hips haven't slid out behind, that they're staying underneath. And then we'll take peaceful warrior, just bringing your right hand to your hip, lifting long through that left side. And then taking the elbow on the inside of the leg. Excuse me. So I'm pressing it open a little further. Take this arm up. One full round of breath. And then coming back up. Turn your heels in, your knees and your toes out. This time make Ganesh Mudra. So I'm making the hook of my hands. And then I'm pulling apart as I draw my hips down. Just 2 breaths. And then stand up, give it a rest. We're going to switch the cross of the hands and we'll sit down again and take 2 deep breaths. And I want all of these strong movements, strong things in the thighs and hips. One more exhale. Whew, to get them warm. The more warm, the more pliable, the more we'll be able to move into those spaces. Yeah. Turning toes forward, now heels go a little wider, come down into a fold. The many, many folds we do in this practice. Then you're going to bring your hands over towards one of your legs and just pull yourself into that leg. You can have some knees bent. You don't have to touch the leg, you just have to go towards the leg. One more breath out. And start to walk over towards the other leg. Give it a moment to let it open up. One more exhale. And come back to the center. Stand yourself up. Turn your heels in a little bit. So not quite as far out as you had it. There's just a little bit heels in. So toes out a bit. And we're going to bend into the right leg. Push your hips back. You don't want to go over to the, bend into that leg. Don't go over to it. Push your hips back. Just bend the leg. It's fine. I always forget. Which side am I on? What am I doing? I don't know. One more exhale. And then come back up and go to the other side. So I don't want to go to the leg. I want to go back into the hips as I bend the leg. Oh, hi hamstrings. One more exhale. And then come back and bring your feet in underneath you. We're gonna do 2 standing balances. One of them, I would like you to use a wall or a bookshelf or the edge of your couch, something really sturdy you can hold on to where you're not gonna have to worry about balance for this one. It still is a balance, you're on one foot, it's fine. We're gonna do figure 4 and you're gonna press your hands on the wall. So what I find is I usually like to be about a gentle arm's distance away from the thing. And then as you bend into your standing leg, you're gonna bring the other ankle on it, and I wanna sit the hips back. Notice how far my hips are behind my ankle. I'm not like stacked over my foot. I'm really going back, and I'm using my hands here, just for some support. I can push my hands into the wall a little bit. My elbows are bent. It's a different kind of push than a plank kind of push. One more exhale. And then come up and release that foot. And we'll go to the other side. So you can change your spacing from the wall if you need. And then we'll sit back into the hips. Push both hips back. Don't lean into the one hip you're standing on. Maybe even push into the hands a bit. One more exhale. And then come on up. And we'll do a tree puss. If you want to stay by the wall so you have something to hold on to just in case, that's all good. We're going to take the foot either calf or thigh, does not matter. Thigh is just more comfortable and it does not need to go there. So what tends to happen is we tend to let the hips go back, and this is going to let the knee go forward, and I'm losing that external rotation and the strength and openness in my inner thigh. We also know that we're able to balance a little better when we lift in a knee to core. So we're going to open the knee, lift the hips up and forward, just open the arms in a way that feels good. Woo! Maybe fall. Maybe wobble and dance. I don't know what's going on today. And then let that go. So you want to watch that you don't go, because this seems like it's more comfortable, right? But I'm not using anything. Nothing's happening here. I want to lift up and forward. And I feel the things that are happening, the muscles that are working, the body that's coordinating or trying to. And then go ahead and bring your feet down. Bring your feet about hip width apart. Take your hands back behind you. You can hold hands at hips if that's easier on your shoulders. I'm going to bend the knees. Open the heart. Drop the heart down. Belly going down to your thighs. Pull the shoulders up and back. Relax your head. One more exhale. Release your arms, stand yourself up, and come up by the back of your mat. Set your feet about hip width apart. Take your arms up. And fold down. When you bring your hands down, walk them forward until your heart is above your thumbs, just to check the spacing, and then go back downward facing dog. I usually scooch my toes in just a tiny bit. That's okay. Feel those legs, the power in them, the openness in the back of them. And then you're going to bring your feet together so the big toes are real close. We're going to bend the knees, and as you walk yourself back, try to sit heels on, or hips on your heels. Child's pose is a great modification, great variation to this. It's going to be a lot more relaxed, but maybe you open your knees and you drop your hips back. Just gonna settle on the insides of your legs. Don't lift your heels up. Try to relax your heels back. They won't touch the floor. That is fine. One more exhale. And then bring your knees back together. We're gonna come up to a fold. Walk your hands forward. Find a plankish place, and then back to a down dog. Maybe you separate your feet a little bit. That's the last down dog. Woo. And then you're going to step your feet outside of your hands, sit back into a squat. It can stay here. You can put something underneath your hips, or you can sit down on the inside of your hips. It's okay if your hips come right down to the floor and you do a seated variation of this. Let out another exhale. And then come on down onto your back. You can use your hands. I find falling to be increasingly the comfortable place for my body to go. And then we're going to take the right ankle on the left knee, reach in between and hold on to your left thigh or your left shin if it feels okay for your knee. If your knee or something doesn't like it, you hold the thigh. Dropping hips down and forward. One more exhale. Then leaving your right knee on the left, or right ankle on the left knee. You're going to put the left foot down and just drop it all over to the left. Oh, excuse me. Spring things. Well, this is getting deep into the inside of this cheek. Soften your belly. Breathe into the sensations here. One more exhale. And then start to unwind your legs. Come back to the center. We're going to put left ankle on right knee and then move to the other side, drawing the legs in. Some long, deep breaths, allowing the sensations that come up, accepting them. It's not going to change profoundly at this moment, but when we keep coming back to it, we give it a couple of moments. Man, some magic happens. Excuse you, quiet please. Thank you. One more exhale. And then releasing your right foot down to the floor. Keep the left ankle at the right knee. Just tilt everything over towards the right. Exhale. And come back to the center, unwind your legs and lift yourself. Oh, no, put your feet down. Oh, no, lift yourself up. Okay, change my mind. Okay, so we're going to come to a seat. And then just lift your toes and feel how much easier it is to lift your spine from there. And then you're going to take your right leg in. If you want to cross it over, you can. If you don't, just leave it on the right side. And then you're going to lift your left toes. Feel that help you lift your spine. And then hug the right knee in as you twist to the right side. Try to be head above heart above hips. Ooh, words. One more exhale. And then turning back towards your legs, you're going to turn the leg over. So I've got the knee on ankle on my knee. Bring your hands back. Slide the left foot in. And then start pushing into your hands as your heart goes up towards your thigh. If you need to scooch the hands back more and pull the shoulders back, maybe that would help. Thinking of some heart opening. One more exhale. And then you're going to tilt this over. I'm going to move my left foot to the right, and that's going to help me bring the knee down. If that's not working, you just straighten the leg out again. That's totally fine, but see if you can do with both legs, and just twist to the right for 2 more breaths. A little deeper. And then unwind your legs, send them forward. Pick the left leg up. If you want to, you cross it over. If your knee or your belly or your ankle don't like it, then don't do that. We're gonna lift right toes so the spine lifts. Just taking the hand just a little far back, just so it's supported. Not so you have to lean back to it. 2 more exhales. And then facing back towards the front, we're gonna slide the leg over so the ankle's on the knee, hands go back, foot pulls in, and heart lifts up. Try to think about the heart opening here. So if the foot needs to go a lot further away so you can open the heart, that is fine. In a place that you can breathe in. For 2 more exhales. And then unwind the legs, bring the feet together, the knees out wide, and we'll come forward, Baddha Konasana. One more exhale. As you start to lift up, you're going to take one of your legs and just kind of fold it back behind you. So one stays forward, much like it was. And then start walking your body forward towards this shin. Deeper on that one side. One more exhale. And start to bring your hands in, and you're going to take them behind you as you lean back. You want to keep the leg that points back, keep that knee on the floor. It's okay to lift this hip, but keep that knee down. If you have space for it and it sounds nice, you can go back to your elbows. If that sounds terrible, don't do that. You got that reindeer, buddy? You gonna bite his butt? You bite that butt. Did I make it weird? I tend to. One more exhale. Cross. Bring your hands over to the same side so you can walk yourself up, and then you're going to swing the back leg up. Pull the other leg back. So you just got this kind of pinwheel sort of shape. And then you're going to draw your heart forward towards your shin. Let's get you. I don't get it. Am I not good? You going to get it? I don't get it. Oh, I don't get it. No? Okay. You get it. Hi, you want me to get you too? Do you want me to get you too? Oh goodness. One more exhale. And then you'll start to come up and walk your hands back. And this will work the front of the leg that faces back. You can't see mine. Okay, there it is. It's there. My knee's down. Might come down towards elbows. Maybe not. One more exhale. And then bring both hands to the same side. Walk yourself up. We're going to do another Baddha Konasana. So feet together, knees out wide. Settle yourself into the fold. Inviting softness into your body, inviting space. Start to pick yourself up, bring your legs together, start to come down onto your back. Knees into your chest, rock a little bit side to side. And open your arms out. Take your knees over to the right side, taking a twist. One more exhale. And then take your legs to the other side. And go on, make yourself comfortable. Oh, step on my goodness. Two more exhales. And as you come back to the center, take happy baby. Reach up and hold onto your feet. That wideness through your pelvis, your hips, your inner thighs. Let the legs come in. We're going to bring feet down to the floor together. Let the knees open. Let the arms open. Just open this across the midline. Spreading the heart wide. Spreading the inner thighs wide. Letting gravity open you up. And taking your hands to the sides of your thighs, closing them up. Step your feet out much wider, letting the knees fall against each other, and take a hand to your belly and a hand to your heart. You notice the shift from this widening, this opening, this expanding, to this gentle shifting inwards. Finding softness and ease in your body. Inviting softness and ease into your mind, into your heart, into your breath. As we settle ourselves into Shavasana and enjoying a few minutes of rest before we wrap up together. As you start to come back to your body, finding some deeper breaths, maybe moving your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, roll yourself over to one side. Offering a moment of gratitude for your practice, for being able to share this time together. And coming up when you're ready to your own comfy seat. We'll seal the practice releasing one more Om together. Down to honor the love and the light and the darkness that resides within each of our hearts. Thanks, friends. Have a really good day. Good evening. Thanks, Kate. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, April.